What's going on YouTube? So I'm standing next to the affordable and very stylish Mercedes CLA 250. Now it's been a couple years since we first checked this out, and like I said, this continues to offer a ton of style and it's one of the most affordable models in their entire lineup. Now today we're standing next to the latest 2022 example, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the review and see if this is the stylish four-door coupe for you. So one of the key elements of the CLA has always been packing that really cool style from this big brother, the CLS, but into this compact body. And you see that right up here in the front. So you've got that signature Mercedes grille. This one specifically has the AMG line package. That's going to give you the sportier front end appearance. As you can see, you've got the really cool kind of diamond detailing in the grille. Looks very premium and upscale, and then you've got the gigantic Mercedes emblem up here in the middle to remind everybody you bought a Mercedes. And as we come over here to the headlights, of course you're going to have premium LED headlights as standard equipment. As you can see, these actually look remarkably similar to the highest end Mercedes products. So you do have the projection low beam here and the reflector high beam, as well as the LED daytime running light and turn signal. Now, just because this is an affordable Benz doesn't mean you have to sacrifice customizability. That is the case when it comes to the wheels. They're offering something like 10 different wheel options for this model. This is the standard 18-inch alloy that comes with the AMG line model. You do have a series of other 18 and 19-inch options, like I was saying, just depending on if you choose the AMG line or the standard version. Now, as we come up here to the mirrors, they're pretty nicely equipped. We do have standard heating and standard blind spot monitoring, and we also have the optional power fold and auto dimming on the driver's side.
I love your videos!
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, we got it on camera this time. Now the CLA is a four-door coupe, and you can see that no better than here at the side. So as you can see, we have a really cool sloping design. You're not going to get this in really a C-Class or anything like that. It's a very stylish look. It's going to be 184 inches in length. Now, coming around to the rear, this is also going to be a very stylish element for the CLA. I imagine a lot of the buyers of this vehicle are just getting it for the style, because this really has a lot of style to it. So let's go ahead and break it down. We have a rear spoiler here at the top. And then if we go off to the side, we're going to have full LED taillights. This is a Benz after all. You wouldn't expect anything else. And then, of course, you have the big Mercedes emblem here. This does also pop out when you shift into reverse to keep the camera from getting wet, which I think is a really nice touch. Then if we drop down to the bottom, we have this piece right here, and we're going to have integrated dual exhaust outlets. Now, for your safety systems, Mercedes is not one to throw in all of them standard. As you would expect, it's not going to be the case with the CLA either. So we have standard forward emergency braking. That's going to be the only one. And then you can further option on all of the other systems in a safety package. Well, guys, we truly appreciate you making it this far in our video. So please hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And please follow us on our other social medias. We have a TikTok and an Instagram that has lots of other content. But without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the inside and then take it out in a spin.
Setting up to this CLA, we do have the keyless go access system that's included in this model's premium package. And this, of course, is the typical Mercedes key fob. To get inside, just click behind the handle there, and the mirrors will fold out as well. And then taking a look inside of the cabin. Just like we've seen with some of the past model years of this, you're basically getting a very familiar Mercedes design to the much more expensive models, even on this affordable CLA. Let's go ahead and talk interior color and material options. So you have actually a lot of different choices for this model. You're going to start out with an MB Tex seat, which also has the Dynamica inserts. That's what you see here. Or you can also option on real leather seats. And as far as your color options, you've got a bunch of them to choose. My favorite one is going to be the titanium black with the red combination. That looks really cool, especially with the seats how they're in one piece. Now, as we turn over here to the door trim, you'll see the same materials reflected up here. So we have the Alcantara door trim here with the color contrast stitching. It's going to be soft touch along the top with the stitching detail as well. And we do have real aluminum accenting. Of course, in typical Mercedes fashion, your seat controls are going to be located up here. It's going to be an 8-way power adjusting seat. We've got standard 3-person memory. And then heating and ventilation are both optional. As far as your windows, one-touch automatic for all 4. You have aluminum pedals, your Mercedes scuff plate, your lumbar supports down here. You have a manual thigh extension, and like I was already describing, this is what the seat looks like. Definitely a really cool seat. So when it comes to the CLA, like I was mentioning, there's really not a ton of differences between this and a lot more expensive Mercedes products. So across the upper dash, you're still going to have a nice soft touch material with the double color contrast stitching detail. You'll notice a generous use of real aluminum trim. I think this looks super nice, feels very premium. We have a nice padded material that runs through here, piano black accenting, nice looking vents, of course piano black down through here, and everything does fit together very well. Now to start it up, every CLA does have push button start.
Happy Saturday morning.
It's a little distracting to the filming, but I guess get some entertainment in the background. Pretty good dancing. Pretty good dancing, though. Pretty good. And right from the start, you will be greeted with the signature dual 10.25-inch display setup with the brand new MBUX system. This is actually not standard on the CLA. You do have a standard dual 7-inch display, which just has, basically is the same size but has large bezels. This one, of course, is what most people are going to go with, and this is included in the premium package. Of course, you can use the steering wheel controls to make different adjustments to the design. Really a ton of different choices. This is one of the most customizable and vivid looking displays in the industry. Additionally, you can get an optional head-up display. Now coming back here to the steering wheel, you do have a nice leather wrap steering wheel with metal and piano black accents, those touch sensitive controls I was just talking about. And you have rain sensing wipers as standard as well. As far as the wheel itself, it's going to be manual tilt and telescoping. We also have the optional steering wheel heating. Let's go ahead and talk interior storage, because this is a small vehicle, but storage is not too bad. So we'll open up our center console here. You're greeted with a surprisingly deep and decently sized storage compartment. Nice felt lining inside of it as well. 2 USB Type-C ports. And here's our stack of coupons. We've added a few more to this stack to make it a bit thicker. And it does look like those are going to fit just fine, so that's good. Up in front of that, we've got our 2 cup holders. We also have another large storage area, great for a cell phone or something like that, and that does have a rubber lining as well. And then you've got another USB and a 12-volt outlet. Now, of course, in typical Mercedes fashion, no shifter down here. The shifter is up here, column mounted. So you're just going to press down for drive. We do have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. And then you can press up for reverse. This is the standard backup camera. As you can see, we do have active guidelines and trajectory. We've got a couple different views we can choose between, and a 360-degree camera system is available. Of course, right in this area, you do have your MBUX controller here, or you can use the touch display. And then we also have our volume knob. So in this specific example, we've got the optional 590-watt 12-speaker Burmester sound system. We'll go ahead and give that a sample right now. So overall sound quality of this system is quite nice. Okay, so let's rise above and take a look at the climate controls next. Standard dual zone automatic climate control setup. You have these nice metal buttons to make your adjustments. When you make those adjustments, it does appear up there in the display. Additionally, one of the nice standard features of these CLAs, you have the 64 color ambient lighting as standard. One of the cool tricks that this does, like we've seen in some other products, is when you adjust this upwards to be hotter, of course, this is going to glow the vent red, and as you go down, you can see it subtly glows blue. Just a cool touch, and goes with, like I said, all the other ambient lighting options throughout the cabin, which are quite extensive. All right, and now we're up here at our main display. So this is the latest version of the MBUX system. Like I said, this is a 10¼ inch display. And as far as our features, we've got, quite a few different things that we can choose between. As we go over, you'll notice we do not have an integrated navigation system. That, of course, is available, but we do still have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Coming up here, we do have the auto-dimming mirror with the 3 HomeLink universal remotes. Of course, you have some LED lighting up here. Oops. And we do also have the standard panoramic sunroof. So as you can see, that goes back basically as far as it can on a slope back vehicle like this, and this panel does open up as well.
Well, come on and join me in the CLA's rear seat. Now, as you can see, it is going to be a little bit on the tighter end. This is a small vehicle, so you expect nothing less out of this rear area, but it's not horrible. As you can see, I'm 5'9", my brother's 5'8", and I can still sit behind his seating position. I have about an inch or so of space between my knees and the seat back, but my feet can slide up underneath the seat, so it's not too uncomfortable overall. As far as the legroom figures, it's going to be 27 inches of legroom, 36 inches of headroom, but just know going in that if you're both over 6 feet tall, you're not going to fit 4 people back here comfortably. Also, I will say these rear seats are a bit harder than the ones in the front, but they have a really cool design to them. As you can see, they have that really cool design that really mirrors what's in the front. Now, as far as our features that Mercedes has thrown in, we have vents that are going to be standard here in the middle, and then if we drop down below that, we have a USB Type-C port, and then the center armrest does fold down, and inside of that we do have 2 pop-out cup holders. It is worth noting, though, that heated rear seats are not available. Now, you might also be curious about the cargo space in the CLA, but in order to get back here, I do want to mention this. It's one of my favorite elements. You just push the Mercedes emblem, it pops up. It just feels really bougie. I love that part of this vehicle. Now, as far as the space itself back here, we have 13.1 cubic feet of space, which is small, but that's to be expected out of this segment of vehicle. It is right in line with that of its competitive set. And all of our camera equipment fits back here perfectly fine. We even have a giant box of floor mats. So I don't think you're gonna have too many problems fitting what you need. Also, the opening is definitely quite wide. It just is a little shallow in terms of the depth. And then up underneath the floor, there is not a spare tire, but we do have these covered hinges. Now, your passenger seat is actually going to be power adjusting, and it's quite a few different ways. We even have 4-way power lumbar support in addition to 3-person memory seating. So even though this is an entry-level Mercedes, you're going to have all the adjustments as well as memory here on the passenger side. Now, as far as other things, if we open up the glove box, it does fit in the coupons perfectly fine. There's actually a lot of space in here. You wouldn't expect it to have this much, and we do have a felt-lined area in the back. Then if we pop down the sun visor, we have LED lighting, a mirror, and we can also detach. However, there is no extension. Okay, yeah.
Pretty good.
We've never been behind the wheel of the CLA 250. Wow, that was pretty fast.
Yeah. Definitely. Kind of surprised me. Like Mason said, we have driven the CLA before, but last time we were in the 35 AMG model. That one is going to be obviously the more powerful option. But this is the standard motor for this model, and it's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 221 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. So really, plenty of power.
Yeah.
The torque is what surprises me. It pushes you back in the seat.
Well, 258 pound-feet is actually quite a good figure for this model. Now, of course, the CLA 35 does have more power, so if you're more power-focused or more sport-focused, you could get that 35 model. And that's also going to have a little bit more of a harsh ride, I'm already noticing. And since I did kind of mention the ride quality, I guess we could go ahead and talk about that for the CLA. This is definitely, it's not going to be like a really soft ride, I will tell you that. It's so small that it really just has that kind of tight, kind of sporty vibe to it. You know, if you want something a little bit, you know, softer sprung, you probably should go for a C-Class. But that's not to say the ride quality is bad by any means. I think the ride quality is actually really good. It just feels like low to the ground and you feel very involved in the driving experience.
Right. This is, like I said, very agile, quick responding steering, really feels tight and buttoned down. Once again, the 35 AMG model is gonna, you know, dial that up even more. But this one here I think is actually a really nice combination of the everyday livability, but still having the athleticism, because the 35 I remember being pretty hard on the suspension.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is going to be your more everyday livable option. Now, talking about the transmission, we do have the 7-speed dual clutch automatic on board for this one.
Yeah. Transmission is really, it's fast.
Yeah, nice and responsive. This is just in the normal drive mode. We can probably change it into the sport mode. Test that out here in a second.
And that is also going to be the same transmission that you get in the 35.
Yeah, I noticed when I put it into sport mode just how
it's doing downshift rev matching.
So pretty cool. Well, you can hear the exhaust a lot better now.
Yeah.
It's got some amplification there. Has a deeper sound to it. Not too bad.
And we'll get into today's airball and slam dunk. I think the slam dunk for us, I'm quite impressed by it because we've never been in the CLA 250. And I think it's really just got to be the overall kind of driving experience. I wasn't expecting that to be the slam dunk for, you know, this model. I thought the CLA 35 would be kind of that, but this is fun to drive. And I think it does honestly mix, you know, the comfort as well as fun to drive experience, maybe even a little bit better than the CLA 35 because that's more just the sport. Now, our airball is going to be just the overall space in here. If you're looking at this compared to something like a C-Class, you are certainly going to notice that this is a lot smaller. It does have that cool design, so if you like the four-door coupe design, you are going to pay the price, though, when you get into the rear seat, because the rear seat is pretty small.
Right. The front seat's not too bad. This is pretty spacious and open, the way they designed this. The back seat is where the term coupe feels like a good descriptor.
Now, the CLA is available in front drive, optional 4MATIC, all-wheel drive, and then the fuel economy is going to be sitting at 24.33.27 for this 4MATIC model, which that's pretty good fuel economy for sure. .5 is our sound level reading, going 55 miles an hour, so I guess 5's the number of the day. But that's actually really good. And just from the seat of my pants, this doesn't feel super loud or anything like that, which can be common for entry-level luxury vehicle products. Now, you may be curious about the pricing on this model. The 4MATIC all-wheel drive model is going to start at $40,200. Typical with Mercedes, you're going to have several options that you can add on. We have about 8,000, so once we had the 1,050 destination, this was coming in at $48,030.
So, in conclusion, I think this CLA really represents a good point in the Mercedes lineup. This here is really a very stylish vehicle. I think that's really a huge factor in why that someone would buy one of these, because this has a lot more style than, say, the A-Class or the C-Class.
Yeah.
So it kind of fits right in between there in that regard. And then, you know, you're getting a good value, like I said, because you can get you have the style of the CLS, but this comes in at a lot more affordable price tag. It's one of the most affordable Mercedes models. You can get a, you know, pretty cheap version of this if that's what you want, or you can add in, you know, extra options and just get a vehicle that has more equipment maybe than a C-Class, but for the same amount of money. At the end of the day, though, like I said, you know, this really is a versatile and good choice, you know, for someone who's looking for having that extra style factor that stands out.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed watching our in-depth review of the 2022 Mercedes-Benz CLA 250. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Join this Car Confections family, and also follow us on our other social medias like TikTok and Instagram. We have a lot of different content on there that you would probably want to check out, especially if you enjoy car content. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.